Dating is a game, and like every game, there are traps and pitfalls that each player can fall into. This video isn't to say that every woman out there is a modern-day femme fatale, just waiting to lure an unsuspecting victim to his doom. In fact, there is an abundance of great women out there. However, men sometimes make mistakes in dating and relationships that set themselves up for failure. We've all known that guy who gets his heart broken over a girl that he barely even knew, all because he didn't follow these 9 rules of dating. Hello, my name is James, and I am on a mission to create a generation of gentlemen. In dating, it is essential to always show up as the best version of you. If you are interested in attracting a high-value woman, the most important thing is that you are a high-value man. If you rely on pick-up artist tricks to get her attention, expensive dinners to seduce her, and tell her everything that she wants to hear, love-bombing her in the early stages, you are building a very fragile house of cards that will always collapse. While it's important that we advertise ourselves properly and we put our best foot forward in the dating market, the most important thing of all is that we actually become a man we are proud of, and the deep, integral character of a man is what a good woman is truly looking for. Being high value doesn't necessarily mean that you have a big bank balance, that you drive a Lamborghini. It's about living your life to a certain standard, keeping moral values, and having a purpose and a work ethic that she can be proud of. If you fail to develop yourself and become the man that you deserve to be, you will only attract substandard women who will never appreciate the great potential you have inside. The second dating rule to never get played by a woman is to pay attention to consistency. If somebody's words and actions don't align, that's a red flag. I'll give you a recent example from my dating life. I met this woman at a bar, we hit it off completely, hung out a couple of times and had a fantastic time and a great connection. But then every time I tried to schedule seeing her again, she was always very distant and unavailable. Then she would text me saying, "Look, I really do want to see you again. I really had a fantastic time. I really want to figure something out." But then we never would. And I always believe that generally people do what they want to do. If somebody tells me they want to hang out and see me again, but then they don't actually make the effort or the time, for me, that's the same as saying they don't want to see me again. If somebody can't communicate effectively with you in the early stages of dating, then what possible hope do you have of having an open, healthy relationship? Likewise, see if the way they actually conduct themselves in their personal lives is the same as what they told you during those early dates. If she told you that she always takes care of her body, she enjoys working out, reading to develop her mind, but then you ask her what gym she goes to and she's not actually a member of one, and she's actually not reading a book at the moment, something's off there. I'm a believer that what people do is a better indicator of who they are than what they say. This one is difficult, but it's important in the early stages of dating to stay in control of your emotions. Don't let your feelings cloud your judgment. It happens to all of us. We get swept off our feet by this woman who is so beautiful, so mysterious, so enchanting, that we completely overlook all of the negative aspects of her personality. I believe both men and women are equally guilty of this. We develop an infatuation, somewhat of an obsession, and we allow our imaginations to fill in all the gaps about this person to make them seem greater than they really are. And then we have such an emotional attachment to them that we don't allow our logical brain to make a fair assessment of who they really are. This only ends in heartbreak because their true character will always reveal itself over time. But men can make the mistake of even entering a relationship with a woman that's totally wrong for them because they are infatuated with her beauty. They have ignored all of the red flags and only seen what they want to see. And that's because emotions have taken over. Of course, emotions are a crucial aspect of dating. It's really an essential ingredient. But if you allow your emotions to be in the driver's seat, it's very possible that you will make some very bad choices. The fourth dating rule is to share your story gradually. Keeping a little mystery is incredibly seductive, and it allows the relationship to unfold naturally while keeping her curious and interested about the man you are. Even in a serious long-term relationship, even if you live together and you're married, it's still important to keep some element of mystery alive. The feeling of not fully understanding somebody, of still being curious, of being imaginative, that's incredibly seductive. But it's also very easy when you feel like you connect with somebody to go and share everything about you, and then suddenly the romance dies. Previously, I've considered myself to be an open book. I typically don't like to keep secrets, and I'm okay with who I am, and I'm okay sharing that with somebody. But I have learned this: just because you're an open book, the book is still meant to be read in a certain order. Skip to the end too quickly, and you ruin the whole plot. In order to avoid getting played while dating, it's also incredibly important to keep your schedule full and your life busy. Don't go and rearrange your entire life just because you met somebody new. They have to earn that place over time. So if you're a man who has a demanding job and then you enjoy a varied and active social life, don't go ahead and cancel all of your plans with your friends just because you met somebody new. You might think it's important to be available and to show interest, and it is to some extent. But when you make a woman earn and wait for that place and that priority in your life, she will value it all the more. If she wants to go out for dinner on Wednesday, but on Wednesday you normally go for drinks with the guys, don't cancel drinks with the guys. Tell her, I have plans on Wednesdays, but how about Thursday instead? Speaking of planning dates, it's incredibly important to make sure that your efforts to plan and organize a date are reciprocated by her. Overall, I believe it's your duty as the man to take the lead and organize the dates. But you must notice whether or not she reciprocates your efforts. For example, if you invite her out for dinner on Friday evening, but she is unavailable, does she simply say, I can't do Friday? Or does she say, I'm afraid I can't make Friday evening, but how about Saturday evening? What you're looking for is this attempt to meet you in the middle and reciprocate your efforts in organizing that date. But reciprocation isn't just important when it comes to planning dates. You also need to pay attention to whether or not she keeps her promises as you do, and whether or not she takes the same level of interest in your life as you do in hers. In dating, it's always important that as a man, you know when to leave. Having the pride to walk away is a show of strength. Never stay in a situation where you don't feel valued or respected. Unfortunately, many men stay in relationships for far too long that no longer serve them and no longer make them feel good. But that's simply because they feel like they don't have any other options. That's why it's so important, whether you are single or in a relationship, that you make your own life so varied, so rich, and so interesting that you're okay whether you have a woman by your side or not. As a man, you must remember that being with the wrong person is much worse than being alone. But how do you know whether or not she is the right or wrong person? Yes, you can make a logical assessment. But if something feels off, I encourage you to trust your gut. In the early stages of dating, I think it's crucial to pay attention to how she makes you feel. What side of your personality does she bring out? Do you like who you are around her? And after the date, do you feel energized, inspired, and excited? Or do you feel drained and exhausted? Never make excuses for bad behavior or ignore red flags. It doesn't matter how beautiful she is. And although our emotional state can be influenced by a woman's physical attractiveness, I believe that our intuition is a much more reliable source of information. Before I finish this video, gentlemen, I have one more crucial point, which is this. If you are interested in her, don't be afraid to put in the effort and pursue her. Yes, there are many traps and pitfalls in dating, but I truly believe that in love, fortune favors the bold. And women don't want to chase a man. That goes against their feminine energy. And if you withdraw or you try and be overly coy, they will take that as a sign of non-interest. When you meet a woman that you believe is genuinely right for you, don't be afraid to follow your heart and do your best to win her affection. The love of a good woman is one of the greatest gifts in life. It doesn't matter whether you are a multi-millionaire CEO, a great athlete or artist. They will all tell you that the love that they get from their marriage and their family is the most important and richest part of their life. So we can't expect that the grace of a beautiful woman and true love will come to us easily. Don't be afraid to be bold, romantic, and passionate. And as long as you follow the other 8 rules that I've explained in this video, you will never get played again. Gentlemen, I want you to help me complete this video now by going down into the comments and sharing one thing that you have learned from either your dating life or your marriage. Perhaps it is a mistake that you made that caused you pain, but you will not make again. Or it could be a positive lesson that you learned from a wonderful woman that entered your life. Thank you very much for your contributions. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you